Welcome back to another Star Wars Holocron. Today we will learn about the Dark God of the Sith, the legacy of Tenebrae, Vitiate, and Valkorion. In the darkest shadows of the Sith Empire, on the forgotten world of Nathema, a child named Tenebrae marked the dawn of an era that would echo through the eons. Born to a farmer's wife but fathered by the Sith Lord Dramath, Tenebrae's presence was an anomaly that disturbed the fabric of the Force from the moment of his conception. Raised in an environment rife with betrayal and dark Sith rituals, Tenebrae exhibited terrifying powers early on. By the age of 6, his command of the dark side was not just apparent, but profoundly disturbing. He manipulated those around him with the ease of a seasoned Sith Lord, and his ability to feed on the dark emotions of others allowed him to commit his first act of horror, the murder of his own parents, an act that was as symbolic as it was strategic, marking his ascension into the dark ranks. As Tenebrae grew, so did his reputation and power. Recognized by the Dark Council for his terrifying abilities, he was anointed as Lord Vitiate at merely 9 years old. His appetite for power was insatiable. He studied the darkest Sith arts, delving into secrets that had been buried in the sands of time, forbidden even among his peers. Vitiate's ambition led him to orchestrate one of the most chilling rituals in Sith history. He deceived and gathered 8,000 Sith Lords under the guise of a unifying ritual that promised to rebuff the enemies of the Sith. Instead, he turned their life forces unto himself, rendering Nathema a lifeless void and extending his life indefinitely. Centuries later, the immortal Sith re-emerged as Valkorion, the ruler of the eternal empire of Zakuul. This new persona discarded the overt savagery of the Sith for a more insidious form of tyranny. Valkorion presented himself as a wise and benevolent ruler, but beneath this facade, he manipulated events across the galaxy, shaping the fate of billions to serve his grand design. Valkorion's rule was marked by an era of unprecedented stability and prosperity for Zakuul, but this was a mere front for his true agenda. He experimented with the Force in ways no one had dared, creating spectacles of power that were both awe-inspiring and horrifying. His ability to fragment his consciousness and spread it across the galaxy allowed him to manipulate events from the shadows, orchestrating conflicts and betrayals that kept potential challengers to his rule in disarray. Valkorion's mastery of the dark side was unparalleled, making him a figure of both reverence and dread. His most terrifying power was perhaps his ability to dominate the wills of others, bending entire planets to his sinister will. He could manipulate the weather, conjure illusions indistinguishable from reality, and warp the minds of the mighty. His influence was felt not just during his reign, but long after his physical demise. The strategies he put in place shaped the interactions between major galactic powers, sowing discord and steering the galaxy toward a path that ensured his teachings and influence would permeate the Force forever. Vitiate's legacy is a testament to the philosophical depths of the dark side's promise: absolute power at the cost of everything else. He explored the metaphysical boundaries of the Force, challenging the very nature of life and death, presence and absence, proving that the Sith's ultimate goal was not just to rule, but to redefine existence itself. His story raises profound questions about the nature of power and the price of ambition. Was Vitiate a visionary or a monster, or perhaps both? His reign challenges the very ethics of the Force, suggesting that the dark side's ultimate expression is not chaos, but a terrifying order where all beings are subsumed under the will of one omnipotent ruler. Tenebrae, Lord Vitiate, and Emperor Valkorion represent the pinnacle of Sith philosophy and the terrifying potential of the dark side of the Force. His story is a cautionary tale about the cost of unchecked power and the moral compromises required to maintain such power. As his legacy continues to influence new generations, the galaxy remains vigilant, hoping never to see the rise of another with his terrifying power and ambition.